We're soldiers first. That's just bottom line. We know at any time if they need us, we're going to be deployed.
When your application gets accepted by WCAP, you get a new set of orders. And the orders are make the Olympic team, win a medal. It could be at the Olympics, or it could be in Baghdad or some other place. So knowing that there are soldiers out there who are risking their lives, I have to be even better.
And represent my country, of course. That's number one.
For those who represent their country both on the battlefield and the playing field, the standards by which one achieves physical excellence are measured on an international stage. The World Class Athlete Program, or WCAP, IDs soldiers and airmen who have the ability to excel both in their professional careers and their athletic pursuits, and gives them the opportunity to train full-time in their chosen sport. These military athletes have their orders: protect, defend, and bring home the gold.
Actually, I got into the Air Force back in 1986. I actually came in looking at the sports program, letting that kind of be my, next step outside of high school, not going to college and everything, give me the opportunity to continue on with my sports and stuff. So I came in, got stationed in Alaska. I actually started doing all the winter sports because there's snow all the time up in Alaska. Then eventually, as the snow thawed out and everything, I got a chance to actually start running track.
He's doing 40 pounds. I'm going to attempt to do 135 pounds. The weight training in his upper body part is so I can tolerate that ride going down the track. Even though it looks like it's nice and smooth on ice, it takes a toll on your body, so you got to have your body fully prepared for that trip.
When I got stationed in Texas at the highest Air Force base, I tried out for the Air Force track and field team in '92. And then that's when actually I started running track for the Air Force.
Every lift I do is catch the next guy. Once I catch that guy in my mind, then I go catch the next guy. Keep constantly working my way up to the top. That's what it's all about.
At the 1996 Armed Forces Track and Field Championships, I had missed the last bus going back to the hotel to take all the athletes back. And the very last bus that was still there were for the athletes that were trying out for the bobsled camp that they had going on. So I decided I'm going to sit here and just wait for those guys to get finished. While I was sitting there waiting, a guy named Captain Rich Lewis came up to me, a real good buddy of mine, shot put guy. He came up to me and said, "Hey man, you may as well go ahead and try out because you can't leave until we leave." So just so happens that day I kind of beat everybody that day in all the different testing events. And a couple months later I got a call from the head coach, wanted to know if I wanted to come out and bobsled in '96. I was still running track for the Air Force track and field team. Here it is, like 8 years later, I'm still running track. And I got an email from Headquarters Sports, and they were soliciting athletes from the military to come out and try out for the U.S. bobsled team.
Well, right now, I'm getting ready to pull my weighted sled. And it basically just allows me to work my drive phase coming off the starting block. Kind of wakes up my hip flexor area, just complete drive all the way through, just trying to stay low and down and focus and just come out of the hole with it.
So basically what the WCAP program allows me to do is basically train full-time and still be able to somewhat support and keep my same lifestyle while training. So basically it eliminates a lot of worries for me so that I actually get out there and perform at my peak perfection.
That's what you call towing the line right there.
When I first got into the military, I was an aircraft armament system specialist, which in layman's terms means I used to load bombs on aircrafts. But now I'm currently a surveillance radar technician in the Georgia Air National Guard.
20?
Just give him 10, Daddy, like you usually do.
Come on, Mike.
Who you going first?
Since you're the big brother, you lead the way, all right? Just go take it to the fence today, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Boy is a very dedicated and committed person in every aspect, be it family life, work environment, or as an athlete. A true ambassador as a military member, as an athlete, and again as a family member. He's one of the finest members of the 116th Maintenance Crew.
Good job, good job.
You almost have to be a magician. I mean, you really do, because to perform at the level he does at work and as an athlete, you've really got to, there's a fine line there, and you got to find that right balance. And Hoy's definitely been able to do that.
Let me turn around for you.
He's always challenging himself in anything that he does. He always gives that 150%, not 110, not just 100, but 150.
Looking for some shade, man? Yeah, I understand. Too easy.
What this does basically is this helps you get ready for individual pushes, and it's going to help your body position. Basically what we're trying to do is train our muscles to get ready to push.
Well, being in the World Class Athlete program, I'm encouraged, well, it's a must that I maintain my military standards, because that's the program I'm actually under. So when I'm out there competing, I still remember that I'm representing the Air Force, my unit, my community. So therefore, there's a lot put on me as far as, you know, keeping up my standards. So I'm very much aware of everything I'm doing while I'm out there competing.
The Army will get their time out of me, I feel like, and that's what my commanders RC told me. They're like, you'll have your chance to serve and fight, but not many people have a chance to represent their country in the way that you do.
Because he's military. Sitting down with all these people working. Look at everybody working around him.
It's all about wrestling. It is prepared. Keeping it light.
Wake the sleeping beast. It's time to wake the sleeping beast.
My number one responsibility, obviously, would be soldiering. That's my number one responsibility. People look at me, obviously, and will say, well, you're just an athlete. But I'm not.
1, 2, 3.
I have to live my life to a certain standard, I think. Knowing that every day that I leave the field, or every week, every month, that I have this opportunity to train. And we have soldiers that are in other locations giving their lives, that I am absolutely the best that I could be because of that relationship. Being a soldier, athlete, Olympian.
That's the height. That's the height. Can we get it down to 2?
That's buddy. See the bottom? You can push fast enough?
Gotta do what I gotta do.
The mental toughness that you need, I think you need to go to, to accomplish basic training, your AIT, all your military schoolings, and then the mental toughness you need to compete, whether it's internationally or even nationally. Just that aspect alone, the military athletes have a huge advantage.
Start number 1. Michelle's making her way through cliffside into Whiteface.
There's definitely a huge connection between the mental and physical discipline it takes to be, a military soldier, airman, Marine, as it does to be a world-class athlete. The training, the diet, all of it is strict and regimented, just like our conduct and our standards in the military, and I think one helps you be better at the other.
At the start, all you think about is the start, even as a driver. All your mental preparation for the run is done prior to that. So all you're concentrating on is the start, to get the fastest start possible.
I get in first. Then from there on out, my job is to drive and pilot the sled down the track. There's actually a steering mechanism a lot of people don't know, but
That's my main job as a driver. I also have to be able to contribute as a push athlete. But once I get in that sled, I have to be focused and calm to drive that sled down the track with 100% of my concentration.
Making his way through the Dallas Highway and indicating 2 ahead of the pace.
We have a cadence we call, it goes front set, back set, ready. We all hit the sled at the same time. And the driver jumps in right over the crest. The 3 of us take it a little farther than that.
They actually have like 500 needles, real small, tiny spikes in each shoe. The number 3 position, that's the guy who usually gets cut up and gets spiked up quite a bit because you're getting underneath one person and somebody else coming in behind you. So if you're going to get cut up or get spiked up, that's usually the position you're going to get spiked up in.
We all want to hit the sled together, kind of in unison with them, and we take off, we get in, get the push bars, and then we're on our trip.
When the bobsled's going down, the main thing is just for the crew to sit still and not move around, because any movement in the sled can cause the sled to slide one way or the other. We're trying to stay as still as possible, especially like when we get into those corners and post almost 3 and 4 and 5 Gs. You don't really want to, like, once we straighten up and try to, like, adjust yourself again, you want to kind of sit still because you just got to just take the pressure and it'll really squeeze you down. Sometimes in the back of the sled, you think it down really low, you're like, okay, I can't get any lower than this. And as soon as you hit that first big G, it's like, oh, here I go.
Especially when you're going over 80 miles an hour. And you're hitting Gs anywhere from 0 to, on Lake Placid, 5.5 Gs in less than 100th of a second. So you have to be able to adapt to that all the way down.
Okay, it's going to be at least 5-minute hold, 5 minutes to Mike and Hoy.
You need to learn the track so you can brace yourself. If not, at 4 Gs, hitting your head into the side of the bobsled hurts pretty bad if you don't know which way you're about to turn.
Coming into Venom Spin, 25/100 ahead of the pace. We just need to keep it together as he comes to the chicane. Nice straight line to the chicane.
When we get to the bottom, I have to pull the brakes, which is 4 or 5 little picks of ice picks. And so trying to stop something that weighs about 1,300 pounds with all of us in it, going 90 miles an hour, makes you pull back pretty hard. And you skip until you come to a stop. That was slightly painful.
If I know I was on the verge of being out of control, I know I have a good run going. But when I have a perfect run, normally I know I have a slow run. I explain it to people, if your first trip down, it's like if you were put in a Coke can and a bunch of rocks, you shook it, and that's what you are in that Coke can. It's a brutal, fast-paced ride.
Heading to the finish line with a down time of 56.69 and a combined time of 1:53.31. Whoa. Go, horse. They crossed the finish line with a combined time of 1:55.39 and their down time of 57.94. 57.94.
You know, sometimes when I don't feel like getting up and going to do my workout, I say, well, you know, my guys have to get up and they have to go over to Afghanistan in the morning. You know, that's my inspiration to get through the workout and to keep fighting for them because I know that they're supporting me. So I think it's a cool connection to have with my friends who are military because, you know, they can give you support that you can't get from anywhere else because they know about struggle and sacrifice.
Sometimes it's difficult, and you wonder what's going on, where, you know, their soldiers are being placed in harm's way or they're fighting or whatever. You really do form relationships and build partnerships, and there's camaraderie and there's competition. Like in a situation or circumstance, most circumstances you wouldn't normally get. And I think that's what keeps most guys around, the thrill of trying to accomplish more than what you accomplished before.
right now they know I'm here driving them down the track in a bobsled, but who knows if I don't make the team, or you know, if next year I get put on a team to go to Afghanistan. That's in my job. I'm in the Army, so that's what I have to do. I wouldn't complain one bit, because I joined the Army knowing that, and then joined the bobsled, joined to be in the Army to have a career in the future, and that's just part of the job.
Deployments do happen, and I'm sure after WCAP I'll be deployed as well, but right now this is my job and this is what the Army wants me to do. Afterwards they'll tell me where they want me to go, and I'll go there. I just shot really slow. Yeah. Yesterday, that's the only thing I didn't like about it, but yeah, just slow. 2 breaths. I couldn't do 1 breath.
So you want to throw shots in time then today?
Yeah. Sports came first in high school. I was pretty active in sports: swimming, running, track, cross-country skiing. And right after high school, I just started shooting biathlon. Somebody gave me a rifle, and I checked out the sport a little bit, went out to Vermont, and when I was out there, we were training at the National Guard facility. End of the summer, as a junior, I was training out there, and some of the Guard recruiters, some of the Guard athletes started talking to me. And, you know, I listened to what they had to say, and the National Guard had a lot of good opportunities, a lot of good programs, and I saw it as an avenue to do many things in my life, and it was the right choice for me, and that's how I started.
Him and low to make 5 range loops together. Drone shooting, first shot, only first shot.
I always wanted to go to the Olympics and be an Olympian, but I also knew the military was something that I was also interested in. I didn't know about the WCAP program, the World Class Athlete program, until later on in my career in the Army and in sport. When I got hooked up with the National Guard, I knew about the National Guard Sports program. It was a good program. They supported their National Guard athletes part-time. It brought me to a certain level where I was able to apply for the World Class Athlete program.
One more.
With the click there.
Look at the hands where the hands are. You see?
At that point, I got onto WCAP, and since then I've been realizing that I do have more potential. And I've been pushing my limits and taking down barriers that I've made myself.
Ready? Go. Stop. No. Again. Go. Again. 7. 10. That's okay.
When your application gets accepted by WCAP, you get a new set of orders, and the orders are make the Olympic team, win a medal. And for us, that's my job. Until I'm off WCAP, that's what the Army told me to do, and I'm focused on that job. A trained biathlete also makes a very good soldier. They're trained endurance-wise, they're at the top of the form. All the basics are the same. Breathing control, aim, trigger. Everything we do is about the basics.
Now do it with these 2 times.
I think I'm faster. I always reach for the bolt to close it, even though it's already open. So
2 times or 1 time?
2 times.
So we can start more with 2 times.
Biathlon has 5 races. We have a sprint race, which is 10 kilometers. We have a pursuit race off the sprint race the next day, which is 12.5 kilometers. We have an individual race, which is the long race. It's 20 kilometers. And we have the relay and the mass start. So the relay is the 4-man relay. We each ski 7.5K. The mass start's 15K. So the only races that we shoot twice in is the sprint and the relay. The relay is 2 shootings as well.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. 1, go. 1, go. 1, go.
We'll do about 2 weeks in the spring for training on snow. At some point in the year, August or September, we'll be on snow again for 2 weeks. But that's the only times we'll be on snow during the dryland training period, until we get to Sweden, middle of November. The 20K individual race is the only race where the penalty is 1 minute tacked on at the end of the race. So shooting is extremely important in that race. It's a long race at altitude, and you really have to pace yourself. It's all about racing right at threshold, right at the zone before you go under, before you go into a state where you're creating so much lactic acid you can't recover, you're not getting enough oxygen. We pull it back 1 notch in the 20K, and you race all the way up to that level, so you can last the full 20K, and you can have negative splits each loop. And by doing that, you should be able to shoot a little bit better as well, because you're not in a zone of total exhaustion.
No, third. Prone.
Good job, Kevin.
It's good training, but the altitude, I should be used to this. I train here every day, but just when you go head-to-head with other athletes, you push just a little bit more, and shooting was pretty tough. Wind, a little tricky. I've been high all week. We got to change that, me and the coach, and hopefully I'll be ready if I can fix that little problem.
Good shooting.
People ask me about biathlon. They say, what's harder, shooting or skiing? What are you better at? Are you a shooter or you're a skier? At the World Cup, at the Olympics, you can't pick one. You have to be the best at both. You have to be the fastest skier. You have to shoot the fastest. You have to shoot the best. The person that wins the medal will make the perfect race. You know, you go through life and you say, I can't do that, or you put up barriers. And the last couple of years I've been taking down these barriers mentally that I put up myself. And I think the road is limitless for me, and our team is doing really well. So I think for us, a lot of us have made the dream of becoming an Olympian, going to the Olympics, but the medal is the next step.
Not only are they representing themselves and the sport they're participating in, but they're representing for every soldier that's out there, National Guard, reservists, active duty soldiers, you know, that they can identify that, hey, that's, you know, not only is that a United States Olympian, but it's also, you know, an Army soldier that's up there representing me.
So that's the dream now, is to be standing on the podium, not just wearing the jacket at the Olympics. But I want that medal. Someone's got to win it. Why not us?